Welcome back to the Lynn Miller Room, the Eagle Sports Coaches Show on this first edition of the 2012-2013 season. We're with David Williams, softball coach at Morehead State University. And, Coach, you had a full summer. We were talking to Brett earlier that he came in late. You came in late last year, didn't have a summer. Basically, now you had a summer under your belt. Tell us a little bit about what you've done this summer.
I was running around all summer, somewhere different every week, going all across the country, recruiting, making sure we're trying to get our roster set for the next year and the year after that. And we've done a good job, I feel like, in recruiting and really gotten some good kids. But, just kind of hectic, really hectic and bouncing around. Come back home for 2 or 3 days, and you head back out again, and you're on the road.
You know, it's strange with baseball and softball is the fact that, most coaches are off during the summer. I mean, they have camps where they're off and they can't recruit. But with softball and baseball, that's your big months out there when most people are at home under the air conditioning.
It is. It's really our big time. It's when a lot of the travel teams are geared up. They're going to the national tournaments, playing all over the country. Really just getting exposure. That's what it's designed for, So they have those huge exposure tournaments all across the country, and coaches flock to them. And as long as coaches keep going, they'll keep hosting them.
It's a great way when you have several teams or 20 teams to come in and look and be able to scout the talent because, in the back of your mind what you may need, maybe not this year, but next year. And you can start, like you said, you got to accomplish what you wanted this year, but you also look into the future.
Correct. And anytime you can get ahead, that's always beneficial.
Tell us a little bit about, what the plans are for the fall for the Eagles.
Well, we actually started first team practice this past Saturday on the 1st, and actually had a really good first team practice, really ahead of where I would think we should be for the first practice. And we've had a couple more since, and right now we're looking pretty good. But we've got a few weeks of practice, and then we'll start opening up some of our fall games. We're going to host 4 dates here in the fall. We're going to play I just drew a blank. But we're going to play Midway and Rio Grande on September 22nd here, which is a Saturday. The following Saturday on the 29th, we'll play a doubleheader against Asbury. And then the next day on Sunday, the 30th, we'll play against Georgetown. And then on October 2nd, we'll close out our fall schedule against Pikeville. And actually, we are going to end out our fall schedule when we're done with all of our outside competition. We'll have a blue-gold series where we'll split the team up and have a little mini World Series.
Tell us a little bit about what you would like to accomplish in the fall. I mean, you got your first season under your hat, and you're ready for season number 2. You get to work on some things, you get some competition. What do you want to accomplish out of this fall campaign?
I really would like to see us come together. I'd like to see everything come together, all the puzzle pieces kind of fit, and really get rocking and rolling. Like you'd mentioned, coming in so late last year, it was kind of hard, and I never really felt like we got settled down until about April, really. And we were almost done with our regular season by that point. But we're able to implement a lot of things this year that I don't think we had time to do last year. We've got a lot of new faces. We've got quite a few returners, and they seem to be mixing in very well. So I'd like for them to bond. I'd like for them to establish a sense of unity, and for us to be able to play maybe not quite at the top of our game as perfect as we can, but I want us to try to get there as quick as we can. And I'm not sure if the fall season is a long enough time to do that, but I'd like to see if we can get there. And if we can do that, it gives us a really good outlook for the spring, and we can see where we're going to be at.
Yeah, it'd be a good start, be good to build upon during the time that leads you up to February and you're starting.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about some of the people that's coming back.
Well, I mean, I guess the most noteworthy would be Amber Riddle. She had multiple honors last year. OVC was NFCA All-Region. Obviously, she's going to be a big contributor this year, and we look for her to provide a lot of leadership as well. But, Stephanie Etter hit over 300 last year. Adrena Anderson hit over 300. Kayla Ashbrook was right there. Those are some of our top returners, and I really feel like if they can do what they did last year and maybe step up a little bit more and provide the leadership we need, they can help point us in the right direction.
How about the newcomers who I know you don't want to put some pressure on?
No, I don't want to put pressure on anybody, but we've got some really good new players, I think. A couple JUCO transfers that I think are real promising, just to name a few. you know, Greta Smines, who's a pitcher, and McKenna Bartko both played at Iowa Western, who I think finished 5th in the nation their freshman year. Megan Osters transferred from Tallahassee. They finished 3rd in the nation her freshman year. Samantha Howard is our other JUCO transfer. She played at Waycross, and she had really good first 2 seasons there and made all-region in Georgia, which is pretty tough to do. So I think with those JUCO transfers, that'll be pretty good, and we've got a handful of freshmen that if they can mature quickly, I think they're going to help us out really well.
David Williams is our guest. This is the Eagles Sports Coaches Show, and, of course, our first edition of the 2012-2013 campaign. And, Coach, you got your first taste of the Ohio Valley Conference. Tell us a little bit about what your thoughts are on the OVC.
Well, it was pretty wide open last year. I think everybody took turns beating up on each other. You look at the typical top teams in Jacksonville State, Tennessee Tech, and we took 2 out of 3 from them. Where we struggled a little bit was against some of the teams that were middle of the pack or maybe near the bottom. We lost games we shouldn't have lost, but I really feel like it's kind of wide open. And really looking at who has what coming back and what they have coming in, I think it's up for grabs this year. And I really hope by May we're one of those teams that are fighting for one of those top spots.
You add a couple more teams to the league this year with, I guess, Belmont coming in. The fact that anytime you expand, that's another, a couple games that you'll have on the schedule.
Well, actually, we're losing games in conference.
Oh, okay.
We went to a divisional format. So with that, we're actually going to play 3 less conference games instead of 3 more conference games. But I think the divisional format's very interesting. I think it's worth seeing how it plays out and see what happens. So we're going to try it for this year and then next year, and then they're going to reevaluate it.
Tell us about people in your division. I know basketball is going the same way with the divisional play. Is it broken down about the same way as basketball?
It should be exactly the same with the East and the West. And in the East, it's Jacksonville State, Tennessee Tech, us, of course, Eastern Kentucky, Tennessee State, and Belmont. So I think it's the exact same as basketball.
What does it look like non-conference schedule coming up in February to March?
Well, we start out the season with 4 tournaments. We're actually going to open the year in Miami, Florida, down at Florida Internationals Tournament. And I believe our first 3 opponents there are.
So when it's 10 degrees below zero out here, you'll be in Miami?
Yeah, it was all by design.
Oh, okay.
All by design.
That's all that's important.
But, yeah, we're going to play Florida International, UConn, and Binghamton there. The next weekend we play a tournament at UNC Wilmington. The 3rd weekend we go to East Tennessee State for a tournament. And the 4th weekend we play a tournament at Campbell. And then right after that, every weekend after that, we'll be in conference schedule. And traditional midweeks that we normally do, we'll play Marshall. We're going to add Northern Kentucky this year since they've moved Division I. And we've got some others mixed in there from the MAC and Summit League and those types of things.
It's always important to identify what you would like to work on. As we mentioned early on, pitching is so important. It just seems like if you take a look at the Ohio Valley Conference, the teams with the good pitching usually win.
I agree. Pitching is a big focal point, and we really wanted to get stronger in that area this year. We want to get stronger with pitching. We want to get stronger with hitting. We hit the ball well last year. We want to get even better at it. And obviously defense. If we could be top in every category, then we're going to put ourselves in a good position.
I know over last year you would come in and do the show, and the fact that you'd be improving on one point, and maybe you wouldn't have – if you were pitching good, you wasn't hitting. If you were hitting good, you wasn't pitching. So as a coach, it has to kind of drive you crazy at times.
It is, and we need to establish a level of consistency. And I think that one of the things that we want to get the most out of the fall and as we lead into the spring is establishing that consistency across the board to be strong in all areas.
We mentioned with Brent about assistant coaching, and I know that you put together a pretty good staff going into this season, and the fact that any head coach always relies on their assistant coaches.
Yeah, no, we've got 2 great assistants. Jen Giles is back this year as our pitching coach. I feel like she made a lot of strides last year, and this year, having worked with some of them already, I think it'll make it easier. And the newer pitchers seem to be blending in well with her. Our new GA, Natalie Haithcox, is actually a former player of mine. She was a 2-time All-American at the last school I was at. And I think that's a great situation just because you bring in somebody that understands how you do things.
Yeah, anytime you're trying to build a program, it always helps to have, like you said, have a former player that maybe know what you want before you kind of say it, or be able to prepare the girls of maybe what's
Right,
coming on.
right.
So, but David, we appreciate you stopping by and talking a little softball here, and tell us those dates again for the home fall schedule.
September 22nd, September 29th, September 30th, and October 7th.
So come on out to the University Field and see some good softball action, and of course, as David said that he'll end the season with a blue gold type scrimmage, so that'll be great to see these young ladies progress and work hard. And of course, then it comes February, and that'll be playing for real. And we appreciate
Be here
you.
before we know it.
Yep, appreciate you coming by, and good
All right,
luck
thank
this
you.
season. David Williams, softball coach here at Morehead State University. We'll come back with more from the Lynn Miller Room on the Eagle Sports Coaches Show.